Welcome to Carolina Engagement Week. Welcome to Moorhead Planetarium and Science Center. We are so excited to bring to you our session on From Gates to Greats, Rural Science Education Engagement with the Saunders Science Scholars Program. I am Dr. Crystal Harden. I'm Director of Program and Inclusion Initiatives here at Moorhead Planetarium and Science Center. And with me, joining me today, we have...
Hello, my name is Mr. Benjamin Saunders Jr. I am the president of Gates County Community Partnership. We're a nonprofit in Gates County, and we work intimately with Gates County schools and with Moorhead Planetarium and Science Center. I am happy to be here again, and thank you for the invitation.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Barry Williams. I'm the superintendent of Gates County Schools. I'm going into my 12th year of service to the community, to the students, to the parents. And we're just here to discuss and talk and explain all the great things that are happening with our Saunders Science Scholars Program. Gates County, you want to know where that's at? We border Virginia. We're right under Suffolk, Chesapeake, and Virginia Beach. Population of Gates County is around 10,500. And the primary business and industry in Gates County is, of course, farming, livestock, and poultry. And of course, the school system is the largest employer in the county. According to the Department of Commerce, Gates County is designated as a Tier 2 county, but we have such a very low tax base that affects our funding. So what happens is a lot of citizens, they go up to the shipyard in Norfolk and work. As far as the schools, we have 5 schools. We have a high school, a middle school, and 3 elementary schools. And of those schools, we have 1,435 students currently. Our teacher-student ratio is 13:1. And our demographics, our group makeup is 58% white, 38% black, 1% Hispanic, and about 3% of 2 or more races. Currently, we have 52% of our students that are on free reduced lunch. And in 2021, just to brag on my school district, we have 10 students that graduated with an associate's degree. In our CTE department, we have an excellent nursing program. We've just developed a National Navy Defense Cadet Corps. We have excellent employees. We have a fantastic school board. And of course, I got Miss Dr. Crystal Harden and Mr. Benjamin Saunders at my side helping us in the school system.
Okay, I would like to introduce you to the model that Morehead is so excited about. Well, the model is this. You take a passionate entity like Moorhead Planetarium and Science Center with knowledge, with infrastructure, with financial resources, and you immerse that entity into a community. And the community is Gates County. And within that community, we immersed ourselves and developed trusting relationships with the community, with the citizens, and particularly with the school district. And what you see here in the model is that the Saunders Science Scholars Program is this immersion of all of the efforts that we have at Morehead, being a department of UNC Chapel Hill, partnering with Gates County schools. And from that, we also leverage this amazing collaboration to work with the local 4-year university in the area, which is Elizabeth City State University. And then what you're going to find out later, from all of this success came the emergence of a local educational nonprofit, Gates County Community Partnership. And so the Saunders Science Scholars Program is this in science enrichment initiative that provides resources, events, and opportunities to really encourage the citizens, and particularly a group of 30 families, to explore STEM and prepare students, their scholars, for college readiness. So what is the Saunders Science Scholars Program? Well, I want to talk about the different components of the program. Now, first about the name. What does this name mean, right? You see someone on stage with the name, what does it mean? Well, the program, when we met with Gates County schools, we knew that we needed to build a trusting relationship with the community. And so what we decided to do was really build upon someone trusted in the community. And that was Benjamin Saunders Sr., a 40-year educator of Gates County, a former middle school math and science educator and longtime principal. And he was renowned and loved in the community. And so we approached him and his family at that time and asked about using his name to represent this new initiative in Gates County. And he agreed. And so it became the Saunders Science Scholars Program. And as we began to build relationships in the community, the name helped us build those relationships, because if Mr. Saunders trusted UNC, then people in the community felt like they could trust us as well. And so what does the program have within it? Well, there is a major hub, a major component of the program, and it is the family science enrichment component. And that's where we have capacity for 30 families, scholars and families. So we have 30 scholars that have been selected on by an application process, and they have one supporting adult with them. And they attend monthly meetings, they have certain structured activities, and we really immerse ourselves and engage with them to support their interest in STEM as well as prepare them for college. They started in the 6th grade, they are now 9th graders, and then we have a new cohort that are currently 8th graders. Then we decided that's not enough, because Dr. Williams was like, okay, that's great, but there's a lot more kids in Gates County, right? So what we decided to do was take all of the efforts of Moorhead, all of our STEM outreach programs, our mobile science programs, all of our science festival initiatives, and pour everything that we have into Gates County. Gates County has 5 schools, 3 elementary schools, 1 middle and 1 high, and we serve all of those schools. There are summer science camps that happen in Gates County. There are college tours that happen. We have field trips for our program participants. Family science night events happen at all 3 elementary schools. We have scientists classroom visits that take place in all 5 schools. Our new initiatives that have been created recently out of this model, our scholars are now in high school, so we've created a new model where we have a Saturday of Science events. That's where our scholars host community events and open it up to everyone in Gates County on Saturdays, and families come in and our scholars facilitate and lead them on science activities. And the Storytime Science events, that's where our scholars, as well as other high school students, partner together with the local library. And on Wednesday evenings, 1 per month, we have Storytime science telling at the local library with science activities. And then, of course, teacher professional development. We have provided teacher professional development on science curriculum and Moorhead science curriculum and activities, as well as our energy science night kits activities and other things.
Wow, okay, this is launch day. This was in October of 2018. This is our first meeting with the first cohort of the Saunders Science Scholars. Looking at these pictures, it's like, wow, it's been that long ago. They are now 9th graders at the high school. As you can see, the swag, they have the bags, the Saunders Science Scholars book bags that were made by UNC Chapel Hill Morehead, and the water bottles. And one thing I want to say about this is that, when we started the program, when Morehead started the program, we thought, this is going to be an exceptional opportunity for the students of Gates County to excel in academics. The things that they're doing in the Saunders Science Scholars, in the community and outside of the Saunders Science Scholars, they are excelling. Their grades are great, and they are true scholars indeed. And I'm glad to see these children, and we have big things planned for them.
Oh, yes. And, once a month, the scholars, they'll meet for about 3 hours in the afternoon, and they'll go to Merchant's Mill Pond or the Dismal Swamp, and they'll do a lot of investigations and forensic science type activities, which is pretty cool. They're pulling them out of the classroom and get them out into the community, into the areas where they learn a lot. But you know what? I could bring my students down here and they could just really, you could see the excitement of how they feel. So I don't have students today, but what I did was I got some comments from some students that they wanted me to share with you. So here are some comments that I think is just really cool. I look forward to each Saturday session, not only for the fun activities, but also for the time I spend with family and friends doing the activities. My favorite activity was at the last session when we learned about football tackling and all the science involved in that process. The program brought in human bumper balls that we were able to get into and practice every day. We learned into running into each other. Miss Crystal and Miss Carla brought programs to my school, and they were so cool. They brought a planetarium and college students to do lessons with my class. I think they helped me in science and math just as much as my teachers do. The scholars meetings are fun. We learned about force of motion by building mini putt-putts. We've built many roller coasters that require 2 loops. And we've learned about how to solve crimes by learning about fingerprints and extracting our DNA. I love that because I too want to be a forensic scientist. And then another student added, there's always something fun to learn at these meetings. I enjoy the meetings, the field trips, the opportunities to attend summer camps, like places at the North Carolina School of Science and Math, and also at ECSU, Aviation, Aerospace, and Drone Academy. Our scholars have developed a love of science and technology through the immersion of activities and experiments with fun, hands-on, shared with family and friends. They're looking forward to go to college. And when I talk to these students, they'll tell me, they'll say, Dr. Williams, I really want to go to UNC, or I want to go to NC State, or I want to go to the military, or I want to go to Harvard. I really enjoy learning. And so, you know, an educated mind is a curious mind, and that's what the scholars have brought.
Okay, this is the summer camps that we had for our scholars. These pictures represent the camps of 2019 and 2021. In 2019, they had the classroom portion of the camps, and also they went on some tours. As you can see on the bottom left, that is a tour of Elizabeth City State University. They toured the Aviation Science Department, and they also went to the U.S. Coast Guard base, which is right down the street, to learn more about airplanes and the science in general. And also during that year, they went to the Virginia Marine Science Museum. In Virginia Beach, Virginia, this picture on the bottom right represents that. We went on a boat cruise through the river there. We also went to the Virginia Beach to the oceanfront. And one thing about the oceanfront that was kind of neat, being that we're only maybe an hour away, we had some kids who had never been to the ocean. And it was good for them to have that experience. It was definitely a great thing. In 2020, there was no camp because of the COVID pandemic. And in 2021, it was modified. As you can see, we did go on one field trip. We went to the Motor World in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and rode go-karts. So the kids definitely enjoyed that.
So we're going to talk about student impact for a minute. And this is really one of the exciting parts, to talk about the impact of this program. So when we talk about student impact, first I'm going to talk about after the first year, what we evaluated and what we found. After the first year, we only had, our cohort then was only of 14 students. Of those 14 students, 8 applied, said they wanted to go to the North Carolina School of Science and Math, the summer residential science programs that were taking place in Durham, North Carolina. 8 of our students applied, 8 of our students were accepted, which was amazing. And weren't sure, like, you know, the tuition is very expensive for these programs, but Morehead had board members were so excited about this that Morehead board members made sure that our students were going free of charge. Now this year we come to summer of 22, we now have 28 students in our program. 21 of our students, 23 applied, 23 were accepted. 21 will be attending, two others have conflicts, but 21 of our students will be attending North Carolina School of Science and Math residential programs this summer. And again, they will be attending tuition free, which is just amazing and such an opportunity for our students. We have students now in Gates County who will be sophomores next year. We have several students who will be applying for the high school program at School of Science and Math. And we are more than excited about that opportunity for them and crossing our fingers about that as well. And then we also had 3 students that went to in 2000, summer before the pandemic, so it'll be 2019. They went to Huntsville to NASA Space Camp. We had 3 students that qualified for a national beta competition. We had a team of students from the Saunders Science Scholars Program that participated in the Google Gravity game. As you can see, they built their own boxcar and raced in Lenore, North Carolina. Moorhead, Gates County Schools, we also did something that we're not sure has ever been done, but we had a Friday night football science tailgate. And we've done those a couple of times in Gates County. So basically, everybody's tailgating this football season, right? So we decided to bring out our mobile vehicles and bring out our partners from Elizabeth City State University, from Merchant Mill Pond, and from other places. And we all from 4-H, and we all set up our activities on kind of on the side of the football field there and had a science tailgate. And during the game, we even, Dr. Williams allowed Moorhead to put our vehicle actually on the football field in one of the end zones. And we had science activities happening, football activities happening in the end zone while the game was going on. Was that not the coolest thing? So we've done that for a couple of years. Extracurricular activities. Our students are involved in all kinds of extracurricular activities. They are in ROTC, they are in athletics, they are in clubs, they are leaders in their activities at school, in middle school and high school. Again, we have a middle school and a high school cohort. Enriched academics. Our students, many of our students were already students who were going to be taking all honors classes, but some of our students were not. The thought scared them to death. But I do have a requirement of taking at least one honors class. Our goal is about college preparation and making them as competitive and as strong academically as possible. So I've pushed them and I've set very high expectations for them. And guess what? They have risen to those challenges. And so now we have students who never thought they would be in an honors class, having an A in an honors class. And then new summer opportunities. So there are so many new summer opportunities that they leverage their participation in this program. Many of them are applying and waiting for information about attending another residential program at Elizabeth City State in their aviation sciences department. So they leverage their participation in this program for other summer opportunities and other things happening that they learn about as well. Mr. Saunders, was anything you wanted to add to student impact?
No, you did an excellent job. Thank you.
All right, community impact. Wow. You know, one of the things, I knew that we had something special. Well, I've always known, but really last month, watching our students lead a community event for the community of Gates County, and you open the doors and these students are there leading, facilitating science activities. It was all just surreal because we had this vision, and when you see it all come together, it's amazing. So the information we have about community impact really this information started pouring into us from parents after our first year. And what we found is this, that our parents report a better understanding of science, not only for the students, but for them as themselves as well, the parents, because the parents are participating in the monthly meetings, and we're sending take-home kits of science activities home after every meeting. So they are going home and then they're engaging in science as a family. So that leads into family bonding. Not only are they together at these meetings, they're going home and spending more time together. And then we have new social interactions and experiences. We have groups of people, 28 families, that yes, they're in Gates County, and Gates County may be a small county, but we have people from very different backgrounds of life, very different social structures, very different cultural structures. And now they are coming together and they are working together in a committed program that takes their child through graduation to high school. So they're giving us a 6-year commitment. And so they have these new social interactions with people in their community that they would maybe not normally get to know. And they have learning new things about each other and everyone's background. So that has been wonderful as well.
Another thing, access to resources is not common in rural North Carolina. Gates County is a small area. It's, again, I'll emphasize it's only like 10,000 people that live in Gates County. So we do not have access to a lot of things that other areas do. One thing that UNC Chapel Hill did, they were like, we're going to give you everything that we have. We're going to immerse ourselves into the community with science activities and science-related events. Before UNC Chapel Hill came to Gates County, there was not anything similar to what they provided us. I mean, just the outreach, just coming in and teaching us about education, teaching us about success, and helping us be better is something that's remarkable in a rural community. We also created opportunities for school board and administrators to leverage the program. One thing that Dr. Williams probably can talk about that also is the accolades that he gets, Gates County Schools gets, because of what Morehead and UNC Chapel Hill has offered Gates County Schools. Also, there have been plenty of awards and also grant opportunities that have come from what UNC Chapel Hill has given Gates County Schools. Encourage community engagement and involvement. One program that started recently is called Gates on the Go. There's also an educational enrichment program. It kind of focuses on STEM. And the chairman of the Board of Education, Mr. Ray Felt, he started that program, made a sizable donation to a university to bring that to Gates County schools. And that basically stems from UNC Chapel Hill's work in Gates County. And also Gates County Community Partnership, the organization that I represent, I'm the president of. We started because of the inspiration of UNC Morehead. They came to us in the beginning and they were like, we need a grassroots organization that can work with us in the community, that can do things, kind of be like an arm of us within the community. Myself, I had been talking about trying to do some things in the community for a long time, but as a lot of people that leave rural areas or leave anywhere, they don't really, follow up on what they say. But UNC Chapel Hill gave us that push to actually do something in an organized manner to support our community. This chart is a little bit about my organization, the organization I'm representing today. Our mission is to inspire and increase community engagement by the citizens of Gates County for the educational and social development of its youth. The reason we came up with that mission is because out of the 4 directors, only one of us is local. He lives in Gates County. The others of us, I live in Washington, DC. We have one that lives on the eastern shore of Virginia and one that currently resides in Florida, but during that time he was living in Alaska. So we knew that we weren't going to be able to be really boots on the ground. So our work could be better maximized if we encourage people from Gates County to do more to help themselves and give them whatever they needed to be more efficient and more effective in the community. But luckily, over the last few years, we have been able to be on the ground a lot more than we anticipated. I spend probably about 30% of my time in Gates County, and I try to be involved in everything that I can, and the same for the other board members. Some of the things we've accomplished so far with the help of the community, various donations. We've done laptops, hotspots, monetary donations. We've given out a total of 47 new laptops to students of Gates County schools. And we have 15 students right now that we support with broadband access that need broadband access for their educational development. The North Carolina Promise Scholarship, we've given out 5 of these so far. And the student in this picture with the black cap on, he is our first scholarship recipient. Jordan Eason, and that is a full tuition scholarship for 1 year out of University of North Carolina. And you see Dr. Williams on the left and Miss Dr. Tammy Boone. She's now Dr. Tammy Boone, all the way to the right. She is the assistant superintendent of Gates County Schools. We did a free 4-day basketball camp. That was the first year we were organized. We were able to get a college basketball coach to lead the camp. We had about 80 students involved in that. And it was an all-day camp. We fed the kids. We were able to do some youth development with the kids also. College Readiness Initiative called Opening Gates. That is from National GSK Foundation. That's a grant that we received from them, a $25,000 grant to do a college readiness initiative that focuses on youth development, ACT prep, and we're going to take them on a college tour. We were supposed to start that last year, but due to COVID, we felt that we weren't going to be able to be as intimate as we wanted to be to most effectively touch these kids. So we are going to start that this summer. And we are definitely looking forward to it. We're going to serve 40 kids with that. And that's going to be free also. Career day, mentorship programs, workshops, etc. Some of the things we've worked on recently, we recently sponsored a tour for the Naval Cadets to the USS Wisconsin in Norfolk, Virginia. Communicated with Chief Howard, he directs the program. And he said, when I talked to him, he said, I would love to take our kids to see USS Wisconsin. So, as an organization that serves the community and serves the citizens of Gates County, we asked, what do you need? And we were able to help them out with that and send them to the USS Wisconsin in Norfolk. We've also worked on a couple of grants. One grant that we worked on recently with Dr. Williams, we received $50,000 from the Overseas Healthcare Foundation for an athletic training facility. And that's going to be for the students of Gates County schools, for the athletes, and for the community of Gates County. We are also involved currently with a mentorship program at T.S. Cooper Elementary School. 4th and 5th grade students, we mentor them in reading, and we also give them mentorship. We're actively involved in that, and actually all 4 of our directors are involved, and we're looking forward to Friday to be there in person and play some basketball with them. There's just so many things that we're involved in, and like I said, it's all about the community. The community makes it possible. And we also provide extended services to Gates County schools and the people in the government. Kind of when we organized, we were like, what can we do to really help? Where is the need? So I communicated with Dr. Williams. I communicated with other administrators of Gates County schools, communicated with the county government, and rural areas, a lot of times there's a lot of low hanging fruit. It's a lot of things from being, I guess, cosmopolitan is the word. I've lived in various places and worked on various projects. And my expertise is not what I'm about to talk about, but I knew I could help. So basically what I'm saying is just doing what you can to serve. For us, it was grant writing starting out. Couple of grants we worked on. I talked about the Ribbon of Hope grant. We did that one. We also worked on a grant with Gates County Schools, the Gear Up North Carolina grant. That is focused on low-income families, low-income students, and encouraging them to go to college. And it's more about it, more involved in that, and I will talk about that more. But grant writing was something that we decided that we could get in and we can focus on with Gates County Schools and with the community.
And just to clarify, the opening gates, that is funded by the North Carolina GSK Foundation.
Okay, I thought I said that. I'm sorry.
National.
Oh, North Carolina, I'm sorry. There you go.
Okay, something else that Mr. Saunders forgot to mention, what the partnership does. We had a retired Little League baseball field. It was nothing but grass. And so the Gates County Community Partners, they really worked really good with some funding. And now we're going to have a really nice baseball, softball field for our students who haven't got to play in an area where they need to play in the spring, to have spring ball. So they have spring ball, they have fall ball, and that's all to Mr. Saunders and the Gates County Community Partnership. I have written some things down here that I don't want to miss. Our partnership has not only benefited the Saunders Science Program and their families, but the partnership also progresses our commitments in the community, which is very, very important. Just like Mr. Saunders was talking about the Gates on the Go project with our chairman of the board. And the Scholars Program just demonstrates how good and how active. It's just a visual example of when people work together, it's teamwork, and we have such a good group of people in Gates County. It's developed positive alliances with other groups in the county. It's fostered relationships with citizens. It's also created an active social action. And more importantly than anything, it's motivated the community to work together. And that's how Gates County does it. No other county, I think, in North Carolina is like Gates County. And I think it's the most beautiful place to be. And I am living the life as superintendent with these two people that I'm standing between.
Leveraging. So one of the exciting things that we're going to talk about next is how we have leveraged the success of this model, the Saunders Science Scholars Program, and the partnership in Gates County, how we've leveraged it for other opportunities. One of those is Morehead has been the producers and facilitators of GSK Corporate's Science in the Summer program since 2008, since it came to North Carolina. The program has grown here in North Carolina to serve 10 counties in the central regions of North Carolina. Well, after what we began to see and experience in Gates County, we went back to GSK and said, hey, let's expand this into a rural county, into rural community, Gates County. We see a need there, and they agreed. And so we have 3 years of funding for the Science in the Summer program in Gates County. And so rising 2nd and 8th graders will have free summer science programs there in Gates County with Science in the Summer. Then we also secured funding from the Sloan Foundation for a program called Science Rising. And Science Rising is a collaboration with Moorhead Planetarium and Science Center, Elizabeth City State University, as well as Gates County Community Partnership. And we have a middle school camp that happens in Gates County for middle school students. And Elizabeth City State faculty and staff from aviation science comes to Gates County, and they lead those sessions with our team there. And then we have elementary-based programs that happen on the campus of Elizabeth City State University, where Morehead staff go onto their campus, and we lead the elementary camps there. And we have their undergraduate students that are our classroom assistants and assist us with those camp programs. And we have use of their science facilities there on Elizabeth City State's campus.
Okay, the Gear Up North Carolina program, that is, I was talking to Dr. Harden about this recently, that's probably the star on our crown. I'm most proud of that. Tell you a little bit about the history of that program. This was January in 2020, I think, and there was a workshop going on USC Chapel Hill's campus called the Rural Community Partnership. We went to a breakout session. The breakout session was on the Carolina College Advising Corps. I'm like, wow, that's cool. Let's see what that's about, because I'm all about college. You're all about college. College is what we want our kids to do. We want our kids to aspire to go to college. So we went to the breakout session and they were talking about the Gear Up North Carolina program. And they had the assistant superintendent of Rockingham County Schools there talking about the program, how great it was, how many more scholarships the students receive, how many more kids are interested in college, how many more kids are getting accepted to certain colleges and universities that they thought they couldn't get accepted to. It's really like, wow, I'm sitting beside Dr. Harden and Dr. Tammy Boone, the assistant superintendent of Gates County Schools. I'm like, we need to get Gates County involved in this program. So we talked about it. It was like, how are we going to get Gates County involved? So we decided to individually, one at a time, to talk to the director during the conference. So we all took our turns and communicated with the director of Carolina College Advising Corps to find out what we needed to do to be involved in the program. So long story short, she said Gates County was on their list. We thought Gates County would be a good candidate for the program, but you have to apply for the grant, the Gear Up North Carolina grant. We're like, yes, let's do this. But little did we know that the deadline for submissions for proposals was like a week away. So Dr. Hart and myself communicated with Dr. Williams and Dr. Boone, like, what do we have to do to get this program in Gates County? So, being the school was going on, there's a lot of things happening. Dr. Hart and myself, we volunteered to write the narrative and do everything we can to get the grant together for submission. So Dr. Williams and Dr. Boone gave us the data, gave us everything we needed. Dr. Hart and myself worked on the grant. Probably, there's a lot of hours, a lot of arguments and a lot of disagreements, but we finished the grant. We gave it to Dr. Williams. Dr. Williams submitted it. And Gates County Schools was selected and was awarded the Gear Up North Carolina grant in 2020. So the program started in the fall of 2020. This is the second year of the program. So many things have happened. We have kids that are just interested in college. We have kids that are going on college tours. We have kids that are getting scholarships that they weren't getting. It's been a curricular change in the middle school. They have the Carnegie curricula. A lot of other things are involved with that. We also have a college advisor that works full-time at Gates County High School. And that person's lone job is to encourage students to go to college, help them with FAFSA applications, help them with financial aid applications, help them with scholarships, help them with getting into school, helping them with ACT prep, SAT prep. And just to see the things that are happening is just miraculous. And one thing I want to say, a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Harden spoke to the ninth graders. I was there also. And they did, I was doing Bear and Breakout, which when they pull out kids from certain grade levels and talk to them about life in general. It's kind of like a mentorship hour. And they were talking about a tour that they had just gone on. And that tour happened to be to a local university. And I brought up, I'm like, that was probably Gear Up, and it was Gear Up. It was Gear Up program, Gear Up funding that actually did that. And that's just one of the college tours they've been on. And that's something that hasn't happened in Gates County before. So I'm definitely happy about that. Other grant funding opportunities with Gates County Schools and Gates County Community Partnership. Again, mentioning, kind of reiterating, whenever Dr. Williams asked me to help him out with something, I try to do whatever I can to help. We try to do whatever we can to help. Actually, we talked recently, and Dr. Williams told me that he had a grant opportunity he kind of wanted me to look at. So I'm looking forward to it, and anything we can do to serve our community, we try to be where we can and do what we can.
And just some of the data points for the Gear Up North Carolina, the value of that program is $325,000 per year over a 7-year period. That is the value that it has for Gates County, because there's a fully funded staff person, the college core advisor who is there. And there, I believe, and Dr. Williams can correct me, but there's also been an increase in the number of students who have applied and been accepted to colleges, as well as completing their FAFSA applications and receiving funding. So many parents, that is a stumbling block, because parents don't know how to complete the FAFSA. It's a scary thing for many parents. With Ms. Gilbert, who is there in Gates County Schools, she holds FAFSA nights for parents to come in, and she works with them individually or in groups on completing the FAFSA for their children. So that's really a great thing. So in summary, this is a successful collaborative partnership model that has, as you can tell, has galvanized the community and it has produced positive outcomes. There is nothing more that we can say about it than that. That's what has happened.
I want to talk about how the program addresses inequities in rural areas of North Carolina. I wrote this down because I wanted to get it right, make sure I said everything I needed to say. It is our responsibility to serve with a focus on positive outcomes. The collaborative effort is important for the edification of rural areas that are often overlooked for a variety of reasons. Objectives are to inspire actions that uplift the community of Gates County and to broaden the horizons of students of Gates County schools. The end goal is a college education. This program makes leaders, encourages the love of education, and develops responsible citizens who serve with their best.
Yeah, and if we look at bullet 3, talking about strengthening the schools, when you strengthen the schools, you're strengthening the community. And, you know, as superintendent, my educational philosophy is to make sure that kids excel academically, socially, emotionally, and physically. And what this program has done, we're building citizens, and the citizens for tomorrow that will be sitting in the seats that we're sitting in Gates County. Hopefully they come back like this gentleman right here, but tickled to death about this.
And lastly, one thing that I didn't go into much detail earlier, but I do want to stress, if you don't know much about Gates County and where it sits, there's not a local McDonald's in Gates County. There's not a local Walmart in Gates County. You've got to drive about 25 miles in either direction to get to those things. So you're either going into Suffolk, Virginia, or you're going to Elizabeth City, or you're going to Ahoskie. You just don't get in your car and go up the street. So when you talk about things in terms of like healthcare and access to to grocery stores or things like that, Gates County is one of those counties where you're talking about healthcare desert or a food desert, those kinds of things. So when the students and the citizens have limited opportunities in the county, but don't let those limitations fool you about who these people are. They are amazing, wonderful, loving, caring people who want their children to succeed and have the best opportunities, just like anyone else in Wake County or Durham County or in Orange County or in Chapel Hill, Carborough, right? So one of the things that we feel is important is to provide that access to resources. And that is what this program has done. And that's what the model is about. And when you look at the success of that, that is what is happening. One of the things that we found, the College Core Advisor found in Gates County, is that the high school students they're trying to have the strongest college applications possible. But geographically, when you look at opportunities to volunteer, to have a strong application, those opportunities aren't in Gates County. And so one of the things that Morehead has been able to do and work with Gates County schools and the high school is provide programs and opportunities to bring volunteer opportunities into Gates County for their high school students to be able to have that on their applications. So yeah, I believe that when you have someone looking at a scholarship and you've got students in Gates County who have volunteered for Storytime Science, a program at UNC Chapel Hill's Moorhead Planetarium and Science Center, that's going to mean something on a college application. So this kind of model does that. So we believe we have a verified blueprint for expansion and replication of a program into other communities. Various sizes and scales, but definitely a blueprint for expansion and replication into all 100 counties. And with that, we'll see if anyone has any questions. If you have questions, I believe that you can, we have our person working behind the scenes that you can't see in the chat, but can see everything. If you have a question, drop it in the chat and someone will read that out loud to us and we'll go from there.
No question.
Okay.
Good. Makes
Oh,
sense.
we have a question here with us in the audience.
Dr. Harden, it's been wonderful to hear about how the students and the families have benefited from this program. I'm curious to hear how this has impacted the educators and their sort of morale and their interactions with students in the county.
Yeah, I can respond to that. I had on this notes, just like Lester Holt, there's a student that was telling me that, and his mom also, that his grades were mediocre. He was making C's and D's, and he was scoring ones and twos on his end of grade assessments. And after being in this program, young man's making A's and B's. He's also scoring 3s and 4s on his EOGs. And more importantly than that, he was a shy young man, but now he's confident, interested, and excited. So when you say, what has that helped with the teachers? Well, now you're bringing a young man in there where they don't have to go back and reteach what they taught in the year before. So they're ready, and they're actually more ahead of classroom instruction. So when you open the textbook and you see the textbook and you go through the chapter 1, you get to the end of the chapter, it says enrichment activities. That's what these kids are already doing. You know, they're involved in the deep down in the weeds of thinking and learning. And if a kid can think, that's what a teacher wants.
All right. Well, if we don't have any more questions, we thank you all for attending our session, and we really appreciate it, and hope you enjoy more of Carolina Engagement Week and find other sessions that you would like to attend. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.